APLD is in a massive spot, guys. We have seen the strong liquidity surging into the market, into this choppy downtrend. They have been forming a very tight range on a very pivotal support level. With this descending trend line in play, we could see some big price action movement to lead into this next bounce, heading into the next few days and weeks, guys. That being said, my name is Dylan from Dylan's Trade. We're going to remain 0% biased throughout the entire video today. We're going to start our technical analysis breakdown, first stemming over on the weekly analysis. Looking on the weekly analysis, guys, of APLD, we have a really simple image in stock price. We did see this very textbook setup, guys. This is very clean activity. You see this incredibly clear descending trend line, entering this incredibly clear ascending trend line. We did get the break over the top, giving that short squeeze-like effect until ultimately entering about a couple year range, guys. Right? Stock price rises to the ceiling, hangs here for about 10 weeks or so. We grind down for about 15 weeks or so. We bounce. We attempt to go to the ceiling, a little bit premature, gap down, come right back down to the floor, guys. Go halfway, right back down to the floor. We grind up. We start to get pretty bullish here, right? Confluencing, get that nice wide bar, ultimately rejecting once again at these highs. We grind in this channel. Once again, a false break over these highs. Go right back to the floor. And you guessed it, guys. We went to the ceiling, but this time we got the breakout. And now we see stock price setting these hammer candles right on this weekly top of the range, guys. Such a simple, classic technical analysis technique, but beginner traders, intermediate traders always forget to do this, guys. It almost makes me mad thinking about it. But we see a classic break and retest, a strong breakout, and now we're coming back and trying to retest it. And the good news for the buyers, we've been building energy and had a healthy pullback. So if we do start to, trend over these highs, we have all this upside momentum. So on the weekly analysis, we feel it's a great risk reward setup. You could quite literally set a stop loss below this candle wick right here and then target somewhere above here. Right? I'm not telling you guys how to trade, but it is a good risk reward setup. And seeing that this area has been so key in the past, man, for about 4 or 5 months of price action. We've held, we reject. Now we have the strong breakover with crazy volume, guys. A lot of volume. This gives us the signified factor that this is a serious liquidity movement. It has dried up since, but pulling back to this level, forming these hammer candles, guys. On the weekly analysis, we do understand that not always do break and retest work. There is a world where, yes, we do break down from this. We will see it if it happens live. We'll update on our channel. But if we start to curl up here, which is the more probable situation, there is a lot of upside to be had. So gotta really love what we're looking like on APLD. Definitely looks very nice. When we jump over the monthly, get even more of a deeper perspective. You see once again how we're really pushing that volume over the top of this range. The break and retest isn't quite as clear on here, but we do look very bullish on the monthly, guys. Definitely does appear to have a big candle up, and same with the weekly. So gotta love where we're at, man. Buyers have been doing a nice job holding this weekly high range. That being said, let's go flip over to the daily analysis. So on the daily analysis, guys, you see that incredible volume step in, and this is just really a good indication for the buyers within the long-term aspect, especially breaking over such a pivotal level, being at the top of this range where we've had some really hard times in the past, guys. Hence all these candlesticks over here, and this stemmed it out back around that June, July of 2023. So on the daily, we're seeing these very tight bars. And what looks nice, guys, is that we initially did start to drop down, right? Pretty hard, pretty negative, just kind of grinding down. And then we start to get a little bit bullish, a little bit bearish, a little bit bullish. And then over here, guys, this is a really dangerous candle. We're forming an inverted hammer candle after a couple reds simultaneously, teasing below this $10 psychological level and to break below this break and retest. What do we do? Immediately, whoop, gap up just out of nowhere. So you always love to see this, as this can trick out short sellers 100%, guys, to then have them liquidated when stock price goes up, giving more fuel to the fire. So we're clearly seeing this descending trend line step into play, guys. Price action is right there. If we can get the strong close over $11, guys, we should be seeing the breakout, right? Keep an eye on volume. Volume will be king for these kind of setups, but I mean, it doesn't take a genius, guys, to say we're in a range on the #1 area value on the weekly, on the daily, on the monthly analysis. So this is a huge spot for the buyers, and there's a lot more room to the up than the down, just being we're revisiting this perfect level. And what is nice to see as well is we didn't just immediately just crash down, right? 2-3 massive candles, just huge move. No, the volume actually dried up when the seller stepped in. Hence over here, if we pull up our volume indicator, right? When we had the upside, we've seen this very nice 190 million, 200 million. And then the best sellers day was 100 million. Then we've seen 60, 50, right? So it's been a pretty gradual grind down. You like to see that in these kind of stocks and these setups. With that being said, let's go flip over to the hourly. Looking at the hourly analysis, arguably a little bit of a inverted head and shoulders here. Not the cleanest one I've seen, but it is there, so it is worth mentioning. Seeing the shoulder here, right? The head here, and then you get the other shoulder here. Once again, adding to the field of fire. If we can break over the descending trend line, we have another bullish setup, and it does look pretty nice on the hourly, guys, as we're clearly seeing a higher low attempted to be set in. Right, there has been a lot of chop in this zone, so you want to be careful in these situations, as it can look quite nice and it'll flip red. But we do gotta love what we see out of here, and there is a more micro analysis perspective. If we flip to the 15-minute chart, for you guys who keep an eye on APLD from a shorter term perspective, keep an eye on this, guys. It doesn't take a genie to chart this out, but perhaps we do use this as the aid to push into the descending trend line, get the break, and then ultimately get the official breakout level over $11, guys, which will turn red. So with that being said, guys, definitely a very nice looking stock here. And what's so interesting here for the buyers is that we have this clear floor, right? If we break below this floor, then we're entering back into this yearly range, guys. And, who's to say we can't break down and then false break, knife up? It's happened before, guys, but more or less, we will just kind of fade off for a little bit. We'll see what the buyers have somewhere down here and then these levels. Boy, you gotta love the risk reward setup here, guys. You're risking a couple percent, risking what, 10% down for 40%, if not breaking these highs over here. So seeing the volume confirmation, a nice tight consolidation on the range, and some nice hourly introspective analysis setups, it looks good, guys. So I do think APLD is primed for higher price actions, but keep an eye on that $11 key level. If you guys found any value out of the video, consider subscribing. We will make these APLD updates as much as you guys want. We actually haven't covered the stock on the channel yet, but it does look very, very good, especially from a long-term perspective. We can see the upside over the top of this range. So with that being said, guys, drop a like, drop a sub if you want to see that. Alrighty, guys, have a good day, man. Take care, trade smart, and peace.